The pen is mighty.
Get ready.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we not only have a lot to talk about.
Y'all better go tell everybody what's up.
Politics, relationships, business, empowerment, and culture. The all-star roster at KBLA Talk 1580 has you covered. That's what it's all about. Be sure to follow us on all our socials for our latest book releases, op-eds, essays, and commentaries from our hosts. And, of course, download the KBLA 1580 app as we strive to remain your most trusted, credible, and reliable source for the issues you care about. This is unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. What up, baby? Sorry.
I remember the resume from the
I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go, or throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha.
Boom.
Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
Yeah?
Oh, do you need this?
Nope. That's you. That's them.
You want this open or closed?
We can. I said we can.
Sometimes it's a little stuffy.
Yeah. Lots of them.
Here we go. Y'all get ready. Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford is in the building. Here she is. Hey.
Don't let me in the kitchen tonight. I'm gonna see what my culinary skills are like tonight.
You already know.
I'm gonna shoot some appetizers. I want you to get some taste on. Let me know. Right?
That's right.
Why does strife occur? What is the foundation, and why is the world this way? We're capable of loving others, so if it is in our capacity, why must we ultimately turn to hate? The answer is multifaceted and complex, but if there is a fine line between love and hate, maybe we've been thinking about love the wrong way. Maybe what we consider to be true love is just a romanticized dressing covering the genuine nature of what we feel. If we could just endlessly love everyone, that would devalue the strength of the relationships we hold most dear. We simply can't. Humans are incapable of unconditional, endless love, and that is what makes the love we do hold for those we cherish so important. We prioritize and hold a select few in high regard, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it does lead us into an uncomfortable truth. That to care and connect is to establish a hierarchy and not give others as fair of a chance. There is only so much room in the human heart, so we must pick and choose those that we spend our times and lives with. It seems like a cynical thing to say, but from the perspective of someone exposed to the constant terrors of sweeping conflict, of the ramifications of a war-torn nation, it isn't hard to see why one would think this way, and you can't really fault this viewpoint without first having lived this horrific life.
ならば親が子を、夫婦が互いを、ラグナルが私を大切に思う気持ちは一体何だ？差別です。王にへつらい奴隷に鞭打つことと大して変わりません。
Just as we make constant decisions that force us to miss out on something to experience something else, just as we choose what to do with our time in the finite amount we have in this world, there is only a limited capacity for love in our hearts, and we cannot love unconditionally to everyone that we meet. We have this pecking order. We have random, entropic biases, along with logical ones built upon giving and taking, and exposure and experience. We don't like people because we're jealous. We're petty. We're hypocrites. We ignore the suffering of some while fawning over those we have chosen. It's unavoidable, because to feel love equally for everyone in the world is to feel pain for every single death or tragedy, coddling our perspective in a...
Oh, Lord. Oh, we about to go ham and eggs this evening? One of my favorite people in the world has re-entered the cooking space, my kitchen. Oh, Lord. Dr. Sunshine has returned. Shalonda Crawford, Ph.D. Whoa.
Get ready.
So, you already know. We are live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is the Voice of Reason, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where the deepest, most interesting relationship conversations are held. And I've got to bring the heavy hitters in so I can sit back and absorb all the wisdom they come with. She don't like that.
No.
Oh, I'm excited. Tonight's topic, I had to play that clip. I know it was kind of awkward. You heard the Japanese piece in there. I had to play it because the clip was talking about how love is based on discrimination. We discriminate in order to choose who we will love. Now, what was so heavy about it, I said, oh, this is an intellectualization of how to love somebody in a toxic society. It used cynicism. We're going to be cynics. Not everybody is deserving of my love. You even heard the guy say, humans are incapable of unconditional love. That is heavy. So it made me think of my topic tonight, flaws and all. Everybody got flaws, right? Everybody got flaws. What is the price, right? You're willing to pay for a relationship with an honorable sinner. Somebody says, sinner, is this going to be religious? Not necessarily. Sinner, flawed. Someone who's got issues, but they're honorable. They have good intent. They just don't always act on their intent. Now, if you want to take that to a biblical space, the Bible says we're all born in sin. And I'm going to say, doing my research, because before I would be like, no, I'm not with that. But when you look up the word sin and you find out what it actually means, I say, well, wow, maybe the Bible was right. The word sin, as it appears in the Bible, comes from the Greek word hamartia. Hamartia. That's interesting. No, hamartia. 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 Or the Hebrew word hata, which both means to miss the mark or flawed. So the Bible got it right. Because everybody that you meet is a work in progress. We are all whips. So everybody is flawed. That means everybody was born in sin. Wow, heavy stuff. We've got questions. I want to hear your thoughts. Gosh, how much are you willing to pay to stay in a relationship with a work in progress, with somebody that's flawed? How do you deal with their insecurities? Agree or disagree? We often, this is a heavy question. We often think we need to hide our rough edges as if they guarantee rejection. But the opposite is usually true. Our flaws connect us. They make us more relatable and approachable. They give us common ground. Is that true or false? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I want to know what you think. True or false? We're all wired for struggle. Oh, gosh. As Bryn Brown wrote, and a lot like Augustine Burroughs, entirely made of flaws, stitched together with good intentions. Yeesh. All of us are broken. I'm tired of people thinking they're better than their partner. The fact that you think you're better than your partner means you're flawed. Oh, gosh. Agree or disagree? If someone had been through what you've been through, they'd likely share the same flaws with you. 1-800-920-1580. Doctor, please help us. Tonight's topic's flawed and all. How do we cope with the flaws of our partner while at the same time either ignoring our own or trying to figure our flaws out, trying to reconcile and deal with our... How do we stay in relationship with that kind of push and pull?
Man.
Yeah.
First of all that stuff to unpack
Yes.
in your intro.
Yes.
Are we trying to cover all of that ground
Hey.
on top of the question in front of me right now?
You got your apron? Let's cook.
Well, then we got to turn the heat up. Then. We got to cook fast up in here.
Yes.
How do you deal with your partner's flaws
Mm-hmm.
while at the same time trying to work out your own issues? I'm paraphrasing. Okay, so there's a short answer, and then we can go as deep as you want to go. I'm following you. I tell you, I got my notepad out tonight.
Let's go.
So the immediate answer, the short and simple answer, is that you deal with your partner's flaws, shortcomings, missteps with empathy. That really should not be so hard for you to dig in your backpack and pull out, because you're going to be giving the same empathy that you yourself need in return. It sounds so simple.
It does, but is it probable? Because most people see empathy in the same light as they see unconditional love. It's unattainable. Most people are very cynical.
Okay, but I'm gonna have to go back
Go ahead.
to the intro. I'm not believing in unconditional love. I'm not sold on that one.
Neither am I.
Okay,
But
I don't have stock in that that idea of unconditional love. But maybe empathy is a word that's hard to sit with or digest.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can use other words. You brought up the word sin. Maybe we can use the word grace. Give me the grace that you want me to give you in return. So maybe grace is a little more digestible.
What would happen if black men in general, as a whole, as a group, had more empathy and grace for sisters?
What would happen?
Yes. How would our relationships be affected?
Well, I think any time that you're put in a situation where you can be fully and authentically who you are in real life without the mask, little asterisk, there are times when a mask is politically correct. I get it.
Code switching.
I do get that. But in an intimate relationship, and I don't necessarily mean your sexual or marital partner, any close relationship.
Familial.
I mean intimacy, like closeness. Any close relationship really should have, it's not even close if it doesn't have space for you to be your authentic self. So imagine how we flourish and reach our, and walk out our full potential when we're given permission to do that. So I think if black men were able, and I think there are reasons why, sometimes they're not, to give us the empathy and grace, and then we to them in return, I think we would flourish. You talk about a movement. You talk about power. I think a lot of us are watered down because we don't feel like we have the permission to be who we truly are. In that little blurb, or maybe, you said it, sometimes we hide our flaws because we think that it's the flaws that will grant us rejection. But if we can admit, here's my shortcoming, so you can go ahead and be cool with letting me know what yours are, because
disclosure, reciprocity, yeah.
Let's just share in the, imperfection. That's power. That's power. In any relationship, a marital relationship, your platonic friendships, parent-child relationships, professional relationships, all of them.
I think people underestimate the power of we're always in relationship, but let me ask you this. What exactly is a relational flaw? Something that you bring to the relationship that requires you to work on, that may irritate your partner because you may or may not have worked on it. What exactly is a flaw?
As I'm listening to the question, the first thing that comes to mind is dishonesty.
Boom.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, can I really build with you if I don't trust you? And dishonesty is directly tied into trust.
Right.
So I don't think we can have a real relationship or a healthy one if I don't trust you. I think everything comes from that foundation.
So dishonesty is the primary. What is the secondary or even the tertiary?
Oh, this is a tough pop quiz.
1-800-920-1580. I know you're flawed. When we come forward, more from Dr. Sunshine. She's already cooking. Are you enjoying the meal?
That's tough. It's like, put them in order. What are you guys saying over here? What comes next? Dishonesty? That's a big one. I can work out a lot of things.
Somebody said disappointment.
What I'm dealing with.
Insecurity.
Disappointment comes from
Insecurity.
Insecurity. Disappointment is connected to expectation.
Come on in.
Maybe that's a flaw.
Limited expectations.
Or
Flexible expectations.
too much.
Too many expectations.
Unrealistic expectations.
Come on.
They talking to you. They not talking to me. I'm sorry. I have to get used to the fact that I have another audience over here. I can't even see what you guys are saying.
Yo, y'all got to hit that super chat. Y'all got to hit that like button. Stop playing. Support this content. It's too good.
Call us. You guys need to call us.
No, my group gets weird when we get deep. We get too deep, they stop calling because they start listening.
But you said call if you're brave enough.
Yeah, they be playing. They play a lot.
Dishonesty equals, what did she say? Fear of being judged.
Come on, cover it.
Oh, that's dishonesty equals fear of being judged.
That's yours.
I like it. I like it.
Move is a center of excellence.
LOLs don't know us too well. Exactly, because y'all be playing. I don't want no playing. It gets better when you call in.
I want you to call in because somebody needs to have my back.
What?
Can you call in and have my back in this conversation? Is it making sense here? That's what we want to know.
Come on.
I love it. So tell me about this
Dr. Sunshine. Always good to have the sister.
That was really
we're trying to find some silver lining.
Commitment was to build a place for Chase. So being able to revamp this beautiful space, to be able to welcome community members. Today, anyone, nonprofit, organization,
I don't have
school
that.
can actually do events in our community center that we're sitting in here for free. Yes,
right
people
now?
come inside, like grab a coffee, use the Wi-Fi. It's
Oh, that's
free. Yes,
wonderful.
Cairo in the community for
How about this?
KBLA.
Why don't you give me that book and sign it?
Chase.
And then why don't I go buy it
The
and gift
possibility
it?
of lung cancer. Well, I'm 30. Scary.
That's fair.
Especially
Okay.
for one of approximately 8 million
That's
current
supportive
or
right
smokers at high risk. That's why Saved by the
Somebody
Skin.
said I'm in the shower. I'm listening.
Taking no breaks.
You under dig?
Seconds. You stop smoking. Now
No
start
breaks,
screening.
none
For
whatsoever.
an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SavedByTheScan.org.
Someone said day and night in the
In the
same
same
building. It's
building.
gonna be fire.
Brought to you by the
You better know it.
Association's Loan Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Okay, so here's the deal. We're listening. That's why we're not
It's the
talking.
voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just my jam.
Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is my co-host. It's human to be flawed. It's human nature. Michael Jackson told us it's human nature. Don't be afraid of your human nature. You're flawed, yes. But why do we hide our flaws? Is that the root of dishonesty, Dr. Sunshine?
Hiding flaws?
Yes.
Is it the root of dishonesty?
Yes.
I love your show because it forces us to be reflective and insightful. I'm going to have to answer that question with a yes.
That's why most people lie, is to defend themselves. When you look
Yes.
at young children, they lie to protect themselves.
Protect themselves from whatever the consequence of the reality is.
Maybe protect themselves from their partner's judgment.
Well, yeah.
Their summation of you will change if they found out.
Well, yeah.
Come on, talk to
Well,
us.
yeah. Why do we have skeletons in our closet?
Lord, a lot of closets.
We have a lot of closets with skeletons?
Closets are now cemeteries.
Oh,
It's the
wow.
truth for all of us.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are some other flaws? We were talking about it during the break. What are some other flaws, Dr. Shalonda Crawford?
Well, what we were talking about during the a big flaw is in the area of expectation. In the area of expectation. So we were discussing the kinds of expectations.
Right.
Limited expectations,
Right.
unrealistic expectations,
Rigid. Yeah.
maybe even too pliable even.
Right.
And the big thing about expectations in a relationship is that expectations often lead to disappointment. Why? Because we usually can't live up to someone else's idea or expectation of who we should be. Like in a relationship,
Nor should we.
no, exactly. But how we align ourselves or our worldview about what a relationship is really predicated on what we saw and what we experienced.
Come on.
And then you got two different people with two different lived experiences, so you're coming in with two different expectations. There's no way I can meet that thing that I haven't even been exposed to. I can try.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to miss the mark and disappoint you. Is that an honorable sin, though?
This
if I
is
was really trying.
well. That's why I say you have to go now to intent,
Yes.
because most people don't even look at intent.
Well, I think intent matters.
Most people look at outcome over intent.
Listen.
Am I lying though?
I think you are right. Because for me, the motivation behind the action is almost equally. I have to factor in why you did that. Where was your mind?
Premeditated murder is worse
Period.
than an accidental homicide
Period.
or manslaughter. Premeditate. You went somewhere and thought about this and planned it. You intended to go do harm. That's worse.
It's worse.
But in relationships, that intention is not taken into consideration for the most part. It should be, but for the most part, it isn't.
Yeah, it should be. When you hurt, it makes a difference. If you hurt me, and I learned that was blatant or inconsiderate, it feels different than the hurt that I'm managing when I know you really didn't mean to do that.
You didn't really mean to do it.
It still hurts, but it hurts differently.
One more flaw before we go to the phone lines.
Okay.
So we talked about disappointment that stems from unrealistic expectations. We talked about dishonesty that could stem from self-protection. What about insecurity?
Insecurity is another flaw.
Yes.
I would say it's a flaw. But usually when we come into relationships with insecurity, we're looking for someone to validate us. So I'm going to say that insecurity is rooted in validation, not enough validation.
Now this opens up a can of whoop tail.
Okay.
Let me just say this.
Okay, as long as it ain't mine.
Wow, validation.
Validation.
Which is more important to seek, to cultivate? Internal validation of self or seeking validation from others?
I think the validation begins externally at a young age. Validation
Maybe,
but how do you validate yourself? Some of it you can do instinctively.
yes.
Some of it you can do instinctively, but let's just think about this intuitively for a minute. And
30 seconds. Hold on. Hold that thought. Oh my goodness. We so into this conversation. It's so fire. Do you want to come in here with some of your flaws? I know you're afraid to do it, but don't be scared. Have the courage to call me 1-800-920-1580 when we come forward. More from Dr. Sunshine.
it's a good song. It's human nature.
Oh, I got a whole situation lined up.
You got a whole situation lined up
Songs.
to discuss? Oh, songs. Your co-host.
Come on now.
Come on. You know, one thing about the 2-hour show as opposed to my 1-hour show is that you get the freedom to play songs. I get the liberty of a few snippets here and there.
Don't do that.
That's all I get.
I get a couple of snippets.
I get a couple of snippets. In my last segment, sometimes I'm like, no music, straight in.
And you are music. I see your post.
I am music.
You are music.
I mean, and I'm all over the place with it. I love, but no, I don't really get to express myself in that way.
Yeah.
On 1 hour show.
Don't worry. You're going to get a 2-hour show.
I don't need a 2-hour show. I just need to visit Zoe. I need to just contribute every now and then.
We love the
Contribution. Some people get healed tonight.
Healing is the most amazing
We
thing.
got to talk about it.
Enlightenment is so enriching.
Yeah. Tell them your show.
So my show is on every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Coast Time. The Dr. Sunshine Show. I'm a psychotherapist, and so I like to deal with real life issues, real life challenges, struggles. Breaking the whole stereotype and stigma about mental health, because we all deal with stuff. So I like to bring on guests that are just real raw and relevant so we can break stuff down. You know what I mean? It's all mental health stuff.
We love it. Y'all got to tune in to the sister. She's doing good things. This These are the type of conversations we should be having. I'm telling you,
It's true.
there can be no unity without healthy relationships in our community. Like, how are we going to get on the same political plan? How are we going to get on the same economic plan? How are we going to get on the same anything if our relationships are in disrepair?
Relationships are they're so important that that most of our issues are relational.
Come on now. Y'all going to get growed up today.
Most are relational. You guys can also follow me on Instagram at the Dr. Sunshine and the Dr. Sunshine Show. One is for motivation, the other is to keep you all in tune with what's going on the show. Check me out. Follow, like, all that good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let me turn and talk to them. Y'all think y'all on a vacation? So when we get company, y'all want to show your ass when we get company. Y'all, I see what it is. Y'all sit back and be like, oh, this show gonna be good. He ain't gonna be paying attention to us. He gonna be caught up. He gonna be listening. He gonna be asking questions. The conversation gonna be good. We ain't got to participate. Wrong.
Come on in.
Stop playing reindeer games. Just cause we got y'all should make me look even better when we got company. He sound like our parents. Exactly. Y'all should make your brother look better when we got company. LOL, Zoe sounded like my dad. Exactly. I got kids, man. Y'all got to get in here and show your love, man. You going, LaBreeze? All right, bro. Don't show out in front of company. That's all I got to say. Don't show out in front of company. It's disrespectful.
What would they be doing otherwise?
They would be calling.
Whoa.
So
tonight is the night to call.
No, but what happens is when the topic is banging, they want to sit back. They want to hear stuff.
But I'm reading good stuff in the chat.
Exactly.
We need to hear that for the people who aren't on the chat.
We want to talk to you.
We do.
And I keep trying to tell them, disclosure, reciprocity. When we talk together, more comes out.
I agree.
Like, the doc knows her stuff. I know Paquito.
Please.
A little tiny bit. Paquito. And we can talk, but it's better if you call in and talk to us. Don't be scared. Let's see, you're right. Where to call? Yes, that's right. Encourage each other to call. Thank you. Here's the number. We got some callers too.
But, good.
Yeah, we got some callers, but I want more. We got 3 lines open right now. I love you too, Shannon. Shannon, I love you. But get on the phone. You want to impress me? Call me. No.
Right. I'm impressed.
Let's see. What are we? Y'all hilarious. Hey, Nzinga. Thank you, Nzinga, for hitting the super chat. We appreciate it. Keep supporting. We love that.
Nzinga is who talked about fear.
Nzinga on the last show.
Oh, was she on then too?
She called in.
Oh, Nzinga has to call in.
Nzinga has to call in.
She has to call in.
But Nzinga be playing sometimes.
Really?
Nzinga will call in, but she be like,
She doesn't seem like the type that comes
she
to play.
Listen, she calls in. It's like a Christmas gift. It's like December 25th. Like, oh, thank you, Nzinga. But she's mad supportive in the chat for sure.
Oh, that's dope. That's really fire.
I'm just playing, Nzinga.
I love that. Okay, so we doing it like that. Let's see where you're going next.
Don't ask me for too much, too fast. You already know about this playlist, man. Jeffrey Osborne. I'm only human. Don't ask me for too much, too fast.
That's pretty deep.
The voice of reason, man.
That's pretty deep.
It's what we do here on KBLA Talk 1580 during the week. Huh?
Okay.
This is what we do. Tonight's topic, flaws and all. What price are you willing to pay for a relationship with an honorable sinner? Someone who is going to miss the mark. We miss the mark all the time. But do we show each other grace? Do we show each other empathy? And when does empathy run out? Is empathy like a Duracell? Is it something that needs to be recharged? Talk to me about the recharging of our empathetic batteries.
I think empathy can run out.
Run out?
I think it can.
Wow.
That was a big response, though. That was a big response.
Wow.
I think empathy runs out when whatever the issue is gains an ER on the end of it.
Say it.
Okay. Empathy runs out, okay, in this case it would be an AR. So if you tell me a lie,
Liar.
you add that on there, now we have a problem. Now, people lie here and there. I can work with that because so do I. I'll even go so far as you may cheat. We can talk about infidelity. That's a whole nother conversation. But you may cheat.
Right.
We can work through that. But when you add on the ER,
Cheater.
empathy runs out. And it depends on what it is. I like to call them points. I like to call them, what is a point? A point is that thing that you just have low tolerance for.
What about
And that looks different in every relationship.
What about a chronic trier? Someone who's always trying.
You just always trying. Just never hitting the mark. Just always trying. I think it's okay. Well, I don't know. That may be the one exception because we're all always trying. So you got me. It would take you to get me. We're all always trying. So I'm going to give you that one.
Okay, you can be a trier.
You can be a trier.
Just don't be a liar.
Don't and don't be a trier outer. Don't be trying stuff out. Just be a trier. Don't keep trying it out.
So my take on the empathy running out idea.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't think empathy or love or forgiveness or grace or any of those things can be exhausted. Because I look at how I don't know if whatever word Muslims who are listening, Allah, Christians, God. I don't think God set up the laws of physics to not make sense for our lives.
Yeah.
So the first law of thermodynamics says energy can never be destroyed. It can only change form. So I believe when we're in trying relationships with triers and liars and cheaters, like you said, you add that ER on the end, I believe we lose access to the empathy that we would have for this person. We lose access. It's almost like the key doesn't work anymore to unlock the empathy drawer.
Yeah. So I guess if we really take the layers off and look at it in the most raw form, we should continue to have empathy even for the ER.
Right.
I can have empathy when my patience or tolerance runs out for me. But you're right. Empathy is something that we should probably not exhaust, because empathy is something that we perpetually need.
So how do we
from whoever your higher power is?
Boom. So how do we recharge it?
How do you tap in and wait? Let me better understand the question. What do you mean? How do we recharge empathy?
See, because I don't believe it can be recharged. I think we just lose access. You're saying it can be exhausted when you're dealing with this type of person.
Well, I think the patience can be exhausted, but I think if you, I don't know if let me just say, I think it can be recharged. I think it can be
quote unquote, air quotes, yeah,
recharged. If you can find, I think if you can access,
yes,
your own need for empathy.
Come on, empathize with yourself.
Yes, or empathize with yourself. That's deep. But reflect and tap into the empathy that you need for yourself.
Come on.
I think that's a way to dig in and regain access to empathy for anyone outside of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Dr. Shalonda Crawford, a.k.a. Dr. Sunshine. We on fire tonight. We got callers on the line. You already know they want to talk to you. Let's get Sean from Reno, Nevada.
Hey,
Sean.
Sunshine.
Hello.
Sunshine. What a wonderful conversation. So, this sparked something in me as a 55-year-old that I do to myself all the time. And I don't know, and by the way, I'm telling you something. I would tell people my age to do this, and I would tell people that are 20-year-olds. I'm 55. I would tell 20-year-olds to do this. I always tell myself, what would you tell your 20-year-old self to do?
Nice.
What would you tell your 20? With all that experience I had, all the failures, and by the way, all the failures, because in life you're going to have failures. So just to let everyone know, when you're young and everything seems like, oh, I got everything going right or whatever. Yes, you do. But you're going to have failures. And as a matter of fact, you're going to learn way more from those than you'll learn from your successes and your wins. Because everything nowadays is wins and losses. I get it. Because I play ball and all that kind of stuff. But just ask yourself, what kind of advice would you give your 20-year-old self? And if you're 20, stop and think for a second and say, what would I say to myself right now? That's really hard.
Break out the phone call.
That would be the hardest thing in the world, because I didn't do it when I was 20. But what I'm saying is, it's good for us older guys to say, or older women, anybody, to say, hey, young people, you can do this. You can stop. You can chill out for a second and think and say, what would you do in this difficult situation, relationship-wise, or anything else for that matter, and say, you know what, I'm making a decision right now that's going to affect my next 10 steps. Shouldn't I be thinking about this? Now, it's easy for me that's already made all the mistakes, right, to say that. And you can't just tell people, do this, do that. But what I would say is, what advice would you give your 20-year-old self? So that's kind of my 2 cents.
Well, my brother, we appreciate you.
Nice.
You brought Reno, Nevada in the building via Oakland, California. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is on fire. When I come forward, you already know more phone callers are going to talk to Dr. Sunshine.
Let's get it. Hey, he's had a mouthful.
He always does.
Oh, does he?
Women's Collective Empowerment
Yeah.
Institute President and CEO
What's his name?
Kelly Todd
Sean.
Griffin says the
Is
state
Sean
of black
here
women in
too?
California
No.
is troubling.
Sean.
I don't think so. He might be in there.
Sean, are you in there? If you in the chat, say something, Sean.
Released their 12th annual report on the status of women and girls in California. The 40-page document reported that the
good
wealth
stuff.
gap among
Sounds all
women
right.
is vast. Findings show
Sean
less
makes me
money,
know
more poverty,
that there's no
and
reason
less
to be
corporate leadership
timid
amongst
about
black
calling.
women compared
Yes.
to white and Latino
Yes.
women.
And I want you to talk
In
about your
California, black women hold 4% of the bachelor's degrees attained. Kelly Todd Griffin of the Black
Being a
Women's
doctor.
Collective believes there's a connection connection between Black women's trailing
It's a
in
side
education and wealth figures. Good news is money is going towards programs targeting Black women. For more information on the report, visit msmu.edu. I'm Aisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
What am I doing?
Messing up that volume.
I
Oh,
think, was that
I was
yours or
supposed to
mine?
turn this down.
That was mine.
Which one is
I'm
it?
trying to turn mine down.
I'm asking
Is
about
it down?
Prevnar 20 because
Yeah.
there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could
That's
put
what I
you in
was
the
trying to
hospital.
do.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk.
Yeah,
of pneumococcal
sometimes
pneumonia.
the
Ask your
navigation.
local pharmacist about
Yes,
getting
this is
vaccinated with
Yep.
Prevnar 20,
The
pneumococcal
navigation
20-valent conjugate
of
vaccine,
the
a Pfizer
clinical
vaccine that can help
psychologist
protect against
and the
pneumococcal pneumonia.
co-pastor, the
Just one
spiritual
dose.
and the
Prevnar 20 is
psycho,
approved for adults to help
which is
prevent
my
infection
dissertation
from 20
work.
strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia.
Um,
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study.
It,
Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a
well, at
severe
the
allergic
time that I did
reaction
my
to the vaccine
dissertation
or its ingredient.
research,
Adults
the
with weak
church
immune systems
wasn't
may have a lower
as
response to the
open
vaccine. The most
to
commonly reported side effect
psychotherapy,
is
I
pain at
believe,
the
today.
injection site. For additional common side effects
That was the
and full
research.
prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138
Well, here's the thing.
or visit Prevnar20.com.
They need to include one another,
So I'm asking
Psychology and philosophy are like this.
period.
Right?
Yeah. And if you're a spiritual person, it has to, it does.
But I blame Westerners for separating the spirit from the clinical.
Science is a private, non-profit community. We're live in a minute.
I'm going to agree with that. And the reason why,
Because they're not spiritual.
well,
I'm sorry.
not only that, but it's not so much the case on the Eastern side. I mean, it's more integrated in Eastern culture.
Exactly.
That's what I mean by that.
Exactly.
Excuse me, I've never really thought about that until right now.
I
Go
just
figure.
love the fact that you paused to think about it.
Because I want to say an answer that's authentic. I don't want to.
Because so many people just have an answer.
No.
But I love that. You said, wait, whoa. Who had said? Wait a
Let me
minute.
think about my answer.
Y'all see what grown-ups look like? This is a grown-up conversation. Y'all know how to be grown-up? I'm sorry.
No, I like it. I like it. All of it. Yeah, slow to speak
Like that.
when you can be. Then I say slow to speak, except for when you're on the Zoe Williams show and you're asked questions on the spot.
You gotta go.
Live.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Your brother Zoe Williams and your
Sister Dr. Sunshine back in the building.
live on KBLA Talk 1580. My playlist is my co-host. That's Chris Brown. I hate being human is what the song is called. I hate being flawed. But if you were perfect, there would be no growth. There would be no expansion. What would you do? You'd get bored quite quickly.
There would be no appreciation.
Ooh, here we go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm Dr. Sunshine, right?
That's Dr. Sunshine, ladies and gentlemen. For all those who do not know, this is a clinical PsyD, is what she says. Just, PsyD. Just out here with the DR. It's cool. It's fine. She's here to share her wisdom. And I love the fact that her wisdom includes the spiritual as well as the clinical. That's a big piece. right? That's a big
For me.
piece, especially if you're trying to help people navigate through the chaos that is their lives.
Yeah. So I have the honor and privilege to co-pastor alongside my husband, Chef Crawford, a church called the Experience Christian Ministries in South Central Los Angeles. We coin ourselves as the church that is out of the box, but in the Word.
Huh. Huh.
We're like, we're different. Yeah, we're different.
Yeah.
And the church is, the vision for the church is, it's for the unchurched or for folks that are just tired of church in the traditional way. It's trying to bring an applicable, a 2023 applicable, message to people. And it's a church for people who want relationship, because relationship is extremely important. As you know, your whole show is about relationship and the importance and complexity of relationship.
Well, let's get deep.
Let's go.
Let's get there. I'm gonna throw something out. This is not my person. Well, it might be.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw something out.
Okay.
You can't have a relationship with God until you heal the relationship with yourself. True or false?
But I think I am working towards healing as I am in
Come on.
my relationship with God. As a matter of fact, it's what keeps me so connected. My need for healing is what keeps me so. It's my school teacher. God would be my school teacher.
God is your school teacher. I like that.
I am the imperfect one, engaging, constantly interacting with people who are also imperfect. I am working towards healing. As for a living, I work to heal people.
Come on.
And, as your caller, Sean, Sean said a lot of stuff that was deep, and I'm gonna.
You saying he gets it?
He gets it. I'm gonna reference something he said. He talked about the 20s and what would you say to your person in the 20s. Me personally, I don't think I would change my 20-year-old person. My 20s, that decade was riddled with pain and disappointment and mistakes and failure. You talked about failure. I'm going to do a whole show on the gift of failure.
Which is good, right? I was going to say, that's good. That's a good thing.
It's all good stuff. It's a gift.
Right.
I'm going to talk about it on my show. But failure. And so what those things did for me, and I say God allowed me to endure that decade so that I can be an effective therapist. I am a therapist with no judgment seat. Why? Because I got too much stuff to be judging anybody.
So now I'm going to turn everything upside down.
Let's go.
In my opinion, God is infinite.
Yes.
So there is no boundary where God ends and you begin.
Okay.
So what makes you flawed is the aspect of you that believes in the you portion, the ego.
Okay. I gotta wrap my mind around the question because Zoe's gonna go in. So I do agree that there is no beginning and ending between myself and God, but I do also believe that I spend my life trying to catch up.
Come on.
With who
He
has
you.
Already created me to be.
Come on.
But in my imperfected self, all this imperfection, all these flaws and all, I am still trying to work out that which he has made me.
I agree with you. But
okay.
I believe...
I see the pondering. Let's go.
I believe the self I'm talking about is the self that clinical psychology talks about. The ego.
Okay.
And I believe once you shed that, you come into communion with what's in you already.
So let's.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, hold on. When we come forward, we
You're
got
wrong for this.
No, we got time. Wait, he said we got time. Come on, jump back in here.
Okay, that is the most difficult thing for humans to do.
But
is
it
to
can be done.
shed
Yes.
the ego. It requires such higher vibration. I'm gonna use your term.
Dark night of the soul. Come on.
It just requires so much more. There's so much stuff that
Yeah.
we have to be able to lay aside.
Offload.
And it's not that we can't do it.
It's
but
not
some
impossible.
Some of us have to unpack more than others in order to get to the bottom, the last brick in the backpack.
Those are the ones that were destined to be great.
Oh, if you look at any
Come
great
on.
person,
Come on.
those of you listening, whoever you deem as someone great in your life, look at them, study them, and you will find the suffering. They go hand in hand.
The suffering is the fuel for greatness.
They go hand in hand.
We must embrace the path, right?
Period.
And the path isn't easy.
Period.
So again, if you dating somebody and they're on their path, how can you, while you're on your path, take a break and go check on them and say, you know what, you're not walking your path right. First off, you're not an authority for my path. Only I am. Ooh.
Yes, it's true, but I also want to be in a relationship with somebody who can I'm trying to find the right word for you, because I think the last time I was on the show we went here. It's not validate me, though I do want a partner that can do that, but I want them to confirm what I already know.
Is that the same thing as seeking validation?
I pause because I don't want to speak too quickly, but I say yes, it is.
God.
I say yes, it is.
God is who validates you.
It's true.
Ooh.
It's true. But as long as we're human, walking around this beautiful earth that he gave us, we are subject to this human stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, flaws and all, you know you got them. Listen, when we come forward, I'm going to Battle Creek, Michigan, Austin,
Come
Texas,
on, Michigan.
Los Angeles, California. The phone lines are on fire. I know we've been talking, but this is what we do when we come together. When we come forward, phone calls and Dr. Shalonda Crawford.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Oh, we want validation. Don't we want validation? I'm going to turn this to him so you can tell him.
No. Talk to them. You talk to them.
Listen, yeah, we should be as spiritual beings turning all of our attention to a higher power. And it would be nice if we could say, the only validation I need is from God, from Jesus, from Allah, from Buddha. It would be wonderful. And we strive to do that, right? But we got this, and we got this, and we got this. And then we're trying to work those things out. We have therapists to help us, untie ourselves because we are leashed, tethered to some of that stuff. And
are we forever tethered?
We don't have to be forever tethered. That would be a life sentence. And we haven't been sentenced for life. That's the wonderful thing about a higher power, whatever yours is. That's the wonderful thing about it, is that there is freedom and liberty in that. That's where grace is. That's the home of grace. That's the source of grace. It's the source of grace. And you know what? We, in turn, when we take advantage of that source, we become resources of grace. Are you a grace resource? That's the question.
Wow. Are you a grace resource?
I'm a grace resource because I've been. There you go. I've been.
I just bought that book.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. Your relationship is in trouble.
I'm the dude to call. That first hour flew.
Oh, we're down and out. See, that's all I have. Is it out?
That happened like boom.
I'm out of there the minute I sit down. I can't play a verse.
Fire. Are you guys enjoying? You gonna follow the doctor, right? She's on Instagram. Follow the doctor. All right.
This guy makes me work. Zoe, did you give me recipes to follow tonight? Or we just doing like the old folk? Did you give me recipes tonight, or are we just doing what like they used to do back in the day? We just doing a pinch of this.
By feel.
We just. Oh, this takes me back. I want to be a drummer.
Friends and family, the voice of reason is on fire, the most revolutionary relationship talk show in the world. We live from Lamert Park. We have conversations people are afraid to have. The phone calls come in from all over the country. If you're just tuning in to hour number 2, tonight's topic, flaws and all. What price are you willing to pay for a relationship with an honorable sinner? Someone who seems to just can't get right. You remember can't get right from life? You can't get right. They got flaws, insecurities, fears, just doubts, anxiety. Yeah, what is that? Anxious attachment? Yeesh.
Yeesh.
Yeesh. You dating somebody that's flawed. And chances are, if they're flawed, you're flawed.
Chances?
So you don't get to judge their flaws. How many people in a flawed situation that like the one I just described, but you can't help but judge? Are you addicted to judgment? Are you addicted to discrimination in relationship based off of what you think you deserve? I know these are tough questions. 1-800-920-1580. Do you expect your partner to accept your flaws before you have? You ain't even accepted your flaws, but you expect your partner to accept you lock, stock, and barrel. Can you say contradiction, hypocrite? Can you just 1-800-920-1580? Get to your phone line. True or false? Mindfulness allows flaws to exist, but not to torment you. How many people practice mindfulness in their relationship? Is mindfulness just another fancy new age word for acceptance of self? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Is it okay to point out your partner's flaws? Many people have a hard time dealing with that. Don't you point out mine until you deal with yours. 1-800-920-1580. True or false? A lasting romance is built on flaws. Oh, I know people don't like to look at it that way, but it really is. You guys are managers of flaws. You have a whole hotel, a relationship hotel, and y'all are the managers of relationship flawed, and y'all manage those flaws. That's just what it is. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get some callers in here. We got Heru Ali, Battle Creek, Michigan. Jump in here. Dr. Sunshine.
Greetings, Mr. Battle Creek, Michigan. My hometown is Grand Rapids, so I'm glad to hear from you. Come through, yes.
Yes, yes.
Hi, Honorable Sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Relationship.
Yes.
What I tell my queens, my sister wives, is that my intention is to love you like the top 5 priorities of a homeless vet, which are 1, a warm, safe place to lay my head. 2, a hot, warm meal. 3, a hot bath. 4, a clean change of clothes. And 5, gainful employment, because I'm not trying to go from homeless to homosexual. I'm going to be the head of household. But here's the question is, can you stand the stench of my past?
That's heavy. Can you stand the stench of your path? The path that you're on.
Of my past, my flaws.
Or of your past. Got it. Got
Of
it.
my past. Absolutely. The stench of my past. Absolutely. Because,
That's a judgment question. That's what that's on. That's a judgment question. And if you got to ask that question, maybe you do have to ask that question, but can you stand the stench of my past?
Yeah, are you prepared to deal with that?
Doc, what do you think?
There's still a residue of it on me.
Well, my immediate answer really sits inside of who you are right now. Because I feel like, I talked about this, I feel like the past has value. And the past is a large contributor to who you are right now. So I'm most concerned with that. And so, yeah, I think off the top, the answer is yeah. But I do think that there are things that are more difficult to tolerate, depending on what it is or accept or embrace or, I think you have to go through it with someone. Deciding who that is, there are many things to consider when we're deciding who that is. So I think the past can come into play, but for the most part, don't we all have a past? I just talked about the decade of the 20s. So I think my right away off the cuff answer is, yeah, that's my answer.
Because my past prepared. That's for me right now.
Yeah, I'm answering without knowing what it is. I'm speaking in general.
Sure, just rhetorical.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah, in general.
As Zoe taught all of us, relationships are a mirror.
Yeah.
You don't get what you want, you attract who you are.
Yeah.
She read the book. You know that, man. She read the book.
Listen, y'all cooking tonight. I love it. And for the last 2 nights, these topics have been the subjects of what my dreams have been made of.
Thank you, good brother. We appreciate you. Battle Creek, Michigan is in the building because of you. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, more from the doctor. She's going to put some sunshine on your mind.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we
Can you stand the stench of my past?
You're listening to the voice of reason.
You know, my mind
with
starts
the
thinking
real
about what are the
KBLA
things I
Talk
can't
1580.
accept. There are a
I
few
personally am here with
that
personal
don't
in-law
fit
office. As a
me,
first
but I
generation
think there's somebody
Angelino,
for
educated at Hampton University and Howard
But I think
University
everybody
School of
you
Law,
meet is
I
a fit.
understand the
Is
importance
what?
of upholding your human and civil
what,
rights
though?
whenever
you
dealing
at
with
that
law
particular
enforcement.
moment.
Whether facing a
Well, talk
misdemeanor,
about that.
felony, or
What does that
infraction,
even mean?
I'm
Just like
here
in
to
the book.
ease the stress
A
and
stepping stone
uncertainty that
versus a
comes with an
cornerstone.
arrest or criminal
Okay.
charge. My
Sometimes
team
the
is
stepping
dedicated to
stone
providing
comes
the best
to
legal
deliver
representation, and we
a
will work with
lesson
you
and
at
then
every
move
step
on.
to
Okay.
ensure you are fully informed and your
That
rights
is-
are
You don't
protected.
meet
With nearly
people
2
that
decades
aren't
of
fits.
experience and a long track
It
record of
just-
success,
I
will work
separated
diligently
into
to
two
ensure the
types
best
of fit.
possible outcome.
Is this a
Call me as
long-term
soon as
fit,
you're aware of police contact
which I
at
call a cornerstone,
424-261-2075.
or short-term,
That's
which is a stepping stone, a stone that leads me to the next blessing.
424-261-2075.
I like the fact that you ponder. You be like, hold on, let me think. Yeah, or no.
Do I honestly agree?
I love that.
I don't want to be a yes, so I want to mean it.
Right.
You can also keep up
This is
with
great
what's going
stuff.
on in Los Angeles
Hit the
as
like
well
button,
as
y'all.
by going to
Yeah,
www.ourweekly.com. The
Maybe
Our
the
Weekly
cornerstone
website is
and
updated
stepping
daily with the
Yeah.
current news
It's
about
good to
us
bring that
and
into
for
the
us.
room.
For your advertising needs, Our Weekly offers economical advertising packages to fit your budget. Feel free to call Our Weekly Los Angeles at
So did our girl call in?
323-905-1300 or visit the website at
Nzinga? Nzinga is in the chat right now. She was the last one to comment.
Reporting news that
You might
matters
as well
to
just
you.
invite her.
I did invite her, Zinga.
Clearly, Dr. Crawford would like to talk to you in Zynga.
The Black Wealth Attainment and
Oh, she's
Retention
a
Program.
warrior.
Free virtual
Okay.
workshop.
She commenting on to somebody else.
Maintain and pass down legacy wealth. Learn from the experts about making more with what
He
you
who
have.
thinks
Black History
has a
Money.
wonderful
Joining the
thought
Smart
here.
Investors
What did he
We
say?
should learn
Preserving
from our
your assets
past
in tough
to
times.
plan
Crypto,
for our
cash in or
future
cash out.
while
Wealthy mind and body.
executing our
Register for
present.
this free series
You like
can
that,
change
huh?
your financial
He who
future at
thinks has a profound
Don't
thought.
miss B-Word, the Black
In
Wealth
other words,
Attainment
it's
and
all,
Retention Program
as they
every
say,
second and
grist
fourth
for me.
Thursday in
Absolutely.
February, March, and
Exactly.
April at 6 p.m. Pacific
Now they
Time.
telling
Register
Nzinga
now
to
at
call in.
laul.org/BWAARP.
Call in, Nzinga.
You got a whole stadium of folks
Live in
calling
30
in.
seconds.
He who thinks. Fire. Yes, that was fire. Oh, I wouldn't even let a woman like that touch me. Ah, I missed it. I'm gonna have to go back and see. Nzinga, are you calling? She said she tried.
We'll get her.
Tell her we'll get her.
I'll get you.
Man, my playlist is crazy. The voice of reason is out of, you know who that is. That's Eminem and Royce the 5'9". The record is called Bad Meets Evil.
Wow.
Well, that's most relationships.
Oh, wow.
Bad be telling evil that they wrong. And then evil be judging bad for what they, you both messed up. That's most relationships, ladies and gentlemen. We on fire tonight. We got calls from all over the country. And LA is in the building right now representing. Let me get my brother who's been on the longest, Reggie from Austin, Texas. Get in here, brother, and chime in. Reggie is a great caller. This is going to be good.
Okay.
Like his currency.
Ooh.
But I've been put together with a bunch of grace. I mean, a huge amount of grace from the many times that I've fallen. And, it's no longer anything that I have. It's not like a stash of something that I keep. It's something that I am. And so it's hard to give, it's hard to have a deficit of who you are. You see what I'm saying? I can give grace to others because that's really the most of who I am. It's not something that I keep. It's something that I am. And so I think the difference of it is love, man. Have you ever been like authentically loved? I mean, had someone authentically love you? It's basically like they need it, you have it, and you give it to them. And you're not trying to get anything back from it. You're not trying to leverage it for something else. It's just like breathing. That's peace. And that's what I want more of. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to do the work that's required to be happy one day at a time. And I may not be able to do everything, but I certainly can do something. So I can compare myself today with who I was yesterday. And I've chipped away at my flaws until I'm a better version of myself. I'll never be perfect, but at least I'll be better today than I was yesterday. And that's the best I can do.
Okay, I think that's using the past. That's a school teacher. But let's just, I want to jump back there. So do you feel like you can run out of grace, or you can over dispense grace?
I think if the person whittles away at you and you feel yourself being weaker around them, then you probably shouldn't be with them. So yeah, that's probably how I would answer that.
So are you saying?
I'm sorry. If I can feel myself getting stronger around you, and nobody's perfect,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But if I can feel myself at least gaining something from this relationship, this friendship, or whatever it is, then yeah, I'll extend grace. It's fine.
So are you saying that we need to be good stewards over
the grace we give?
The grace we
Absolutely.
are?
Ooh. Yeah, you have to be a good steward, yes.
Be a good steward and be discerning
about
who to give it to, how much to dispense, and when, is what I hear you saying. So I will say this, anything that is often seen or overdone becomes invisible. So I'm going to agree with you on the notion. I wanted to find out what the intention and motivation was behind it, so I could determine whether or not I actually agreed with it. But I do. I think if you dispense it freely at all times to everyone, then it loses its value.
Does it?
Oh,
Absolutely
well.
No.
It doesn't lose its actual value.
No, I disagree.
But I think that people have a tendency to have less appreciation for the thing.
So let me offer this. If we're looking for them to appreciate it, we're looking for something.
That is in return. You're right.
So a lot of times we're giving what we call empathy in a contaminated container. The container is acknowledge it.
Yes.
Acknowledge the empathy. What about unconditional empathy, where you don't care how they respond to it?
I think that's an ideal. What's the caller's name?
That's Reggie from Austin. You got to say Reggie.
Reggie from Austin. I did see in the chat, Texas gang, Reggie. Reggie, do you believe that there is unconditional love? Do you believe that it exists?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. What?
Yeah.
Of course it exists. I'm saying we're contaminated by culture, by this toxic society. And all of our relationship concepts and ideas, even if they're considered to be lofty, are contaminated by transactionalism, by outcome. I got to make sure I get something back. If I'm going to give you love, if I'm going to give you sex, if I'm going to give you time, if I'm going to give you empathy, I have to get something back that is of equal or more value. And this is where the judgment, this is where the ego and all that comes
the condition comes
Yes.
from. But I almost think it's human nature.
Well, I always get it back, though. I may not get it back from the person that I gave it to, but I always get it back. It's always mine.
What he's saying,
get it back
oh no,
today,
I see what you're
but
saying.
it's always mine.
Okay, I'm struggling a little bit here.
No, I see what he's saying. He has it to give.
It is him. It is him.
It
doesn't run
is
out.
him.
It's infinite.
This is what I'm trying to get to. See, the transactional empathetic piece is really big.
I'm stuck on the unconditional part because both you and Reggie from Austin, Texas, you two believe that there is an unconditional love for us to tap into, and I want you to bring me into that because I'm not connecting.
Well, first
Every
off,
scenario comes back with a condition in my mind.
okay, so let's use your background.
Okay.
For most people, they have been brought up in a certain kind of environment, which molds who they are.
Right.
Attachment theory, right?
Yes.
They take this attachment style into their adult relationships where typically creates conflict. What is that conflict for?
What is the conflict for?
Conflict has a purpose in relationship.
No,
Yes.
I'm pausing to answer that question. I think it's the fight for understanding.
Or to reconcile.
Oh, well, okay, you're going back to the clinical part.
Yes.
It's to reconcile the things that were unmet
That's,
at
come
that
on.
time. I forgot where we were going.
Conflict equals growth.
Yeah, okay.
So what happens when you can step out? Have you ever loved somebody outside of your attachment style?
Talk to me.
Yes.
Do you see? This is where that unconditional piece
I
comes
do,
from.
but I don't. But there's always been a condition.
Yeah.
In other words, like what you're describing, I'm always expecting something at some point. Don't
Right.
get me wrong. I feel like there have been times in relationships where I have emptied myself.
Right.
In this relationship, I'm going to give you everything I have or know how to give. But at some point, if you're not pouring back, bing, I'm gone.
So let me do it this way. What did God expect from us? 3:16, after he gave up his son.
I mean, it is the
What-
is the wonderful example of unconditional love.
But
right?
what did he expect back? What was the equal payoff?
Wait. Don't try to stick me up.
Come on.
Biblical thing.
Come on.
What I want to do is I'm tapping into the human part of us. I think we can't just hang our hats on the spiritual us because we're stuck in the human body. I mean, even for those of us who follow Christ, it's the only thing that I really have a voice to speak on. Even on the cross, Jesus is like, what is going on here? There was for even a moment, a little questioning, what's happening here.
Yeah.
I think as human people, we strive to be unconditional. That's the goal.
Peter
Yeah.
walked on water for a little bit.
Until he got his little doubt in there and started to sink.
And what did Jesus say to him right after he put him in the boat?
But
Yeah. He couldn't get outside of his attachment style.
But
Ooh.
show me a human unlike Peter, who will occasionally, and Peter is a wonderful example. He's a wonderful example.
I had to go there.
It's a wonderful because he was allowed the privilege of such a huge miracle right alongside Jesus, and he still looked away.
So are we giving the body too much power? I believe the spirit supersedes the body. The body is the vehicle.
I agree, but what I want to do is give the body some credence. I think we can't totally wipe it out.
Well,
because
we didn't speak in absolutes here.
Well, unconditional is absolute
Love, which is beyond the body.
unconditional love.
Ooh, unconditional empathy, beyond the body. It's not just the software of ideas in our mind, it's a level of consciousness.
Well, because love is more than a feeling, I
Come
can
on.
begin to meet
Oh, I love her. Reggie, you got something else to say?
Reggie.
Man, I just appreciate y'all.
Reggie, goodbye. No, I'm just kidding.
Reggie,
But you
goodbye.
have walked into the room.
All right, peace.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, Reggie. Austin, Texas is in the building because of
Yes.
Reggie. If you want to bring your city in the building, you know what you got to do. Call me at 1-800-920-1580. Wacky from Los Angeles. Get in here.
What's up, man?
What's happening, fam?
So, my man, hey, Dr. Sunshine, how
Hey.
you doing, beautiful?
What's up, man?
That's right. Hey, I'm enjoying the show, right? But I just got to keep that thing all the way true.
Mm.
I didn't like the last few callers. They all seem weak to me,
Oh.
man. Not to rag on nobody, but all this little failure and flaw, that mentality puts you in a disadvantage. I don't believe in flaw and failure because anything I've ever done has been my decision. So if I take an L on it, right, then I made that decision and I can appreciate and accept that, deal with the consequences, and stand tall and continue to walk forward.
I like that. Yes, I like that. Come on.
Can we appreciate that?
I can.
Yeah,
Come
you know,
on.
Can we appreciate that? It's like this as far as relationships, right?
Mhm.
It's like this. I believe in honesty is the best policy. If you have a woman, if you're true to yourself, right, and you speak directly to your woman eye to eye,
Mm.
Eye to
you
eye.
know,
Yes.
you have that type of relationship. It's like, look, we can't fail if you understand and respect how I get down. I'm going to accept you for how you get down, and we can cut it off immediately
Mm.
if we don't have that understanding from the gate.
Hey, listen,
You know?
Wacky, you cooking right now. You listen, you cooking right now. I'm gonna carry you over, brother. I need to talk to you some more. Yo, when we come forward, more from my brother Wacky. He ain't wacky. He dropping some jewels. He's got a lot to talk about.
What time is it?
Almost over.
No, I'm thinking Wacky got a lot to say here.
And you process everything, which I love.
President Biden
Yes.
is
I
ripping
see
the
you
Texas judge's
thinking, and the
controversial
wheels are
decision
turning, and
that
you're
would
like,
suspend the abortion
what?
pill for Keystone. On Tuesday,
what is
Biden
my
called last
response
week's
to that? I
ruling
love it.
completely out of
all
bounds. The
thought
Justice
provoking.
Department has
Yes.
since appealed the judge's decision. Meantime, the Pentagon is vowing to turn over
You know,
every
here's
rock
the
to find the
thing.
source of a U.S. intelligence
The
leak.
thing
A batch of what
is-
appears to be classified documents have recently leaked online.
Listening to the
In New York
words
City, the Manhattan District Attorney is filing a lawsuit to keep
and
congressional Republicans from
understanding the
interfering
deeper
in the
context.
office's criminal case against former President Trump. Manhattan DA
So-
and African-American Alvin Bragg filed a federal
lot of
lawsuit
times
against Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio,
some-
accusing Jordan of a transparent campaign to intimidate and attack his office over the prosecution of Trump. I'm Julius
This
White, your
last
home for
caller, this
24/7
current
News, the Black Information Network, and
Yes,
BINnews.com.
Need an
I am,
accident attorney
you know,
by your side. All you
taking
got
in
to
more than the
do is
words
call
hitting
the
my ear.
accident guys.
But
Injured in a car accident or
what
at
is
work? Call the accident guys to speak
big
with a real
comment.
expert attorney for a free consultation.
the view, the perspective.
I'm your gifted and KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk. Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation in scholarships for the next generation of Black journalists. And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of Black photojournalists. Congratulations to all
the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon honoring Black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us.
So you got my girl on there.
Yes.
Let's get back to business, Los Angeles
I have to
County.
find
The
her on
Economic
Instagram.
Opportunity Grant
And
Program is
Zinga.
now open.
Talk
This
to her. She's
program is
in there.
designed to
I
provide
thought she was
financial
on the-
support to
So, and
qualified
Zinga,
small
you're on the
businesses,
line
micro entrepreneurs,
and
food industry
in the
businesses
chat.
such as restaurants and nonprofits
Okay,
in
I
Los
would like
Angeles
to
County.
follow you
Approximately
guys.
4,600 grants of up to
I'ma
$2,500
have
each will be
charge my
administered to
tablet.
qualified micro businesses
Oh.
that face barriers to
You're
accessing
not.
capital resources. To learn
And
more about
Zinga,
the Economic Opportunity
I
Grant
would like
Program,
to. Oh, you
visit
made it.
www.grants.lacounty.gov.
I would like
The
to
application process is fast and easy. Don't miss the opportunity to get
follow
back
you
to
if
business.
I'm not
This
already. I
program
don't
is
know what your
administered by
Instagram
the
handle
County of
is.
Los
For that
Angeles
matter,
through its Department
I
of
would like to
Economic
follow you
Opportunity
guys
and funded
if I'm
in
not
part through a
already.
grant from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. The application portal is powered by Lindustry. Visit
On Instagram.
www.grants.lacounty.gov and get back to business.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with
and-
metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer
And I
that is
have
spread to
2
other parts of the
pages
body, they mean
on
even more.
Instagram
I take
at
Ibrand's
the
palbociclib.
DR
Ibrand's
Sunshine.
125 milligram
That's for
tablets with an
motivation and
aromatase
inspiration.
inhibitor
And
is for
at
adults
the
with
DR
HR positive, HER2
at the
negative
DR
MBC
Sunshine
as the first
show.
hormone-based therapy. Ask your doctor.
We follow
about
each other
Ibrance and visit
already.
Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low
Oh,
red blood
that's
cell counts that may lead to
you.
serious infections.
Yeah, you
Ibrance
sent
may
me
cause
the
severe
yes. I
inflammation
got
of the
that,
lungs.
and
Both of these
I
can
did.
lead
I
to
loved
death.
it.
Tell
Thank
your doctor
you.
right away if you
Thank
have
you
new
for
or
that.
worsening symptoms, including
Okay,
trouble
so
breathing,
yeah,
shortness
we're already
of breath,
following each
cough,
other.
or
That's
chest
good.
pain. Before
That's
taking
good.
Ibrance, tell your doctor if you
And
have fever, chills, or
I
other
want
signs
to
of
say
infection, liver or kidney
Love
problems, are or plan to
Child, I
become
think,
pregnant,
is a
or are
connection that I
breastfeeding.
made
Common side effects include
here
low red blood cell and
on
low
this
platelet
show
counts,
as
infections,
well.
tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning
Yeah,
or loss,
Love
vomiting,
Child
rash, and loss of appetite.
32. So this
KBLA
name,
Talk
Zoe,
1580 stands
do you
for
know that
Unity
name?
and Healing. African Focus Incorporated
That
is
might
a
be in
nonprofit
Zinga. That's in
organization
Zinga.
based in California that
That
focuses
is
on the
her!
growth and
Yeah, she
well-being
follows
of
Your
me.
Love
Africans
Child
all around the world. Their
32!
mission is to
Are
promote
you?
the well-being of people of African descent
I
through
yes,
knowledge
I
and
already
appreciation
follow
of one
her.
another by building a
And
bridge of love and understanding.
absolutely
African
love
Focus
the post,
Incorporated
by the
strives
way.
for
You probably
cultural,
see me clicking
educational,
on your
and
stuff.
economic growth. They're the
Absolutely do.
organization behind the
So
African
she's on
Family
hold.
Induction Ceremony,
Yeah, we got
African
her.
Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase
Good deal.
Los
So you
Angeles.
guys, we are
Family Day,
already,
Good News,
we only
Windows,
have 30 more minutes
Microfinance
to go.
Project,
No,
and
less
more.
than
To
30.
volunteer,
Less than
We come
30.
back
with
at
African Focus,
36.
or to attend one of their
You know
community
what?
building events, please call
The hour flies by.
310-676-7730. That's
This show's almost over.
310-676-7300.
So look, the
Or
next
visit
segment, 9 minutes.
AfricanFocus.org.
Oh,
This
that's
is
what
a
we are. We're in the
diaspora-wide
9-minute
Then
segment.
community
4-4.
call to action
4-4,
from
and
then it's over.
KBLA Talk
Do you guys
1580.
hear this? We're almost out of here. We got to hear from you.
30 seconds.
Oh, it's the old classic right here. Hey, let me see what you're coming up with next. I want to see what what's next on your playlist.
I got fire.
We
That's
about
all
to,
I
we
know.
about to find out. Let's see what your co-host is doing.
Let's see, what do I got next? Oh, you ain't even gonna know this one.
Oh,
You're not gonna know.
my repertoire is so big, but you stumped me once tonight.
It's for the youngsters.
Oh, then I won't know. Put me on, Zoe.
VOR, Voice of Reason. KBLA, Talk 1580. You already know what it is. The Voice of Reason back in the building with his sister. Yeah, Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, PhD, PsyD. Give her a love, man. Give her love. She's been in here cooking with them Emerald Lagasse spices. Ooh. It's going down. We're talking about what's the price you're willing to pay to be in a relationship with a flawed person. And I'm simply saying, whether you can afford to be in a relationship with a flawed person or not, you're going to be in a relationship with a flawed person.
Period.
It's not even about if you can afford it or not, because everybody you meet is flawed. I don't care how set up they are in society. Everybody is flawed. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get back to Wacky, Los Angeles, California. We want to get his final thoughts here. Wacky, jump back in here.
Hey.
Yes,
hey,
she is.
Thank
yes.
you.
Yes. The who?
The what game?
The what game?
The flaw game.
Earlier, if the foundation is truth, right? Now you got that ground laid down, because truth needs no support. It stands on its own, right? After that, then you're in a position to demand respect, right? You don't demand respect if you don't have a truth foundation. Now, after respect comes open dialogue with your significant other. Now we can have honest communication. We can talk to each other. We can grow together. We can build. We can actually build some trust. So therefore, if you accept me for who I am up under those conditions, then we're good. And then we can move forward. As far as all that other thing is like this, I'm 52. It's too late in the game to try to play and try to raise someone to make them a better person. If you don't have it by now, you don't have it by now. But we all do need a significant other as far as, I'm a heterosexual male. I love women, so I love my woman. I have a woman. But I'm just saying, it's like this. If you're a person who doesn't, and you're looking for that female connection and intimacy, well, unfortunately, that's available with protection, of course, on every intersection in any city. If you don't want to deal with the harsh realities of dealing with honesty, because if you have somebody cuffed up under you and y'all trying to build, I'm not about to be uncomfortable with somebody that I'm participating with a physical connection with, because that's uncomfortable. Why would I live my life in that capacity? I'm not a kid anymore.
Dr. Sunshine, your thoughts? Hold on a second, Wacky. Yeah. Dr. Sunshine wants to say something.
I'll let her.
No. We'll let you. We'll let you, Wacky. Hold on. Just listen now. Go ahead.
Voice of reason.
Yeah, exactly, brother. Let the sister get it in.
So as I listen to you, Wacky, first of all, I think I can truly appreciate this perspective, your perspective, and the honesty in it. But my question is, do you make mistakes? Have you set out to do something and not been able to do it? Do you make mistakes? And I ask the question because we can have an honest conversation, and then I can accept that honesty. It's one thing to accept the honesty, but in all honesty, am I accepting your flaws and all? Or are you infallible? In other words, are you incapable of being flawed, making mistakes?
Well, let me break it down to you in this fashion. Of course, I made mistakes. However, whatever action I did to create that mistake made, it was my decision. And I just made the wrong decision. I accepted it. Right? So it's like, it was a perfect mistake.
Aren't they all?
I believe in perfection. Because guess what? No, they're not all, because if I would have did it without me making the decision to make that mistake.
Are you saying you made the decision to make the mistake?
That's what he's saying.
No. My outcome was not to make a mistake. My outcome, that's what ended up happening.
That's what
I turned right,
flaw
I should have turned left.
Yes.
No, that's not a flaw. That's not a flaw.
It was the inability to make the correct decision out the gate.
But he doesn't describe it as a flaw.
It was because of the honesty and the ability to accept that thing for what it is.
Right.
I'm not rolling with you on that, Dr. Sunshine.
Okay.
Let me tell you this. If you ever went to El Pollo Loco, and that particular El Pollo Loco, the chicken was dry.
Yes.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I have.
The chicken is always dry.
No, wait a minute. Let's not get off topic.
Okay.
The one I usually go to is very moist, tender, and juicy.
Okay.
Now, did I make a mistake or did I trust their brand? I just trusted my decision to make a right instead of a left. But I still wanted Pollo Loco. Right? So, but I went to the one and I said, wow, I should have went to the one where, unfortunately, the whites were being served. I went to one where we were being served and it was dry. Right? So, that wasn't a premeditated flaw. I just made the decision to go right, and I got the wrong one. Guess what? I accepted it, took a bite, and threw it out the window.
Hey, Wacky, we gotta push forward,
I'm so
brother.
happy he called.
But Wacky, man, come on.
Before you hang up on me, so let me just give you all props and give congrats to your son, New.
Yes.
From my understanding, he went to another professional league.
Yes, he did.
I called him the new truth. But I'm not trying to disrespect Paul Pierce. But I know Paul Pierce respect Inglewood folks.
Exactly.
And I know your location.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So it's all much love to you, homie.
Thank you, brother.
I'm a long-time follower. I'm Big Wacky, but keep in mind, my real name is Travis. You know me.
I know you, Travis. It's all good.
Yeah, but I'm Big Wacky. I got several names.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. You call in anytime, dog. Oh, Big Wacky came in here and said, listen here.
I'm so
You go to El Pollo Loco and get some dry chicken. I made the choice to make a left instead of a right. Boy, when we come forward.
I'm so glad. I love it.
We going to Pensacola, Florida. We going to South Central. We got folks on the line that want to talk to Dr. Sunshine.
Okay.
Is it good to you or voice of reason?
What in the world? Listen.
I love you guys.
Listen. If you an artist and you don't want the executive producer dancing in the videos, come to Death Row. Suge was on the phone. We had Suge Knight on the
And it's all good.
Oh, man. That's crazy. Oh, man. Suge is out of control. It's pumping on mines. What? What, Suge? We in New York. What we doing? Oh, man.
Yes, to Big Wacky.
Big Wacky came in here and threw us all for a loop. What the hell?
It's the honesty. He's not with this
flaws, failures, stuff.
And that's why I said this is how he defines it for himself.
But when you said that, he said no.
Over intellectualization of it. I'm going to create a whole concept to fit this world I live in. And many of us do that. Intellectualizing something that's right in front of your face. You'll intellectualize an excuse for it, a justification for it. He was in here talking about he ain't no flaws. And then came back and said, yeah, I made flaws, but it was because of a conscious decision I had made. When I worked down at the foundry, I made a conscious decision to put my hand in the molten aluminum. That's why I got 2 fingers left.
I can't. It's funny to me. At a point, you just gotta.
That's why I was like, all right, you're right. Now get out of here. Because you done took our show over. We was good until the foundry came in.
Let's get to Nzinga.
And here she is. She coming. Oh, that's funny.
It's funny.
I loved every moment of it.
In under-resourced institutions, SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council.
Y'all enjoy the show? I want everybody to put up an emoji. Put up an emoji to describe the show. If you're enjoying it, let me know via emoji talk.
Yeah. Because you can say a whole conversation with emojis.
Yeah.
You can have a whole conversation. Yep.
Andy, Beyonce said, accept me, flaws and all. It's easy to accept Beyonce flaws. The voice of reason back in the building, KBLA Talk 1580, in here with my sister, Dr. Sunshine herself. We turned up. This show has been absolutely hot monkey lava.
Yes.
This is a different kind of lava that involves monkeys. I'm telling you, it's been on fire all the way through. I love it. The callers are cranked up. Let me go over to Pensacola, Florida. Nzinga. Nzinga is one of our favorites. Let's get Nzinga in here. Come on.
Nzinga. Hey. I'm good. Thank you for calling in, Nzinga.
Title of the show, are you willing to pay for a relationship with an honorable sinner? I think sinning, that's objective, because sometimes sinning could be feeding your whole family. So I guess it's just how you look at that. You know, from where I come from a big rich town. I just come from the poorest part.
Come on.
And a lot of people sin, you know, the guys that I grew up with, you know, they were hunted by the police and they had to sin to feed their families. So I guess I didn't always look at it as a bad thing. They had to do, you know, what they had to do. Biggie talked about it too. But as far as like the grace part, I think sometimes when you give grace or you're forgiving, I think people sometimes mess up and then expect it from you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Mm.
like a big expectation of grace.
Mm-hmm.
I've been accused of giving too much grace or being too forgiving sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people know that not that they could do little things, but you'll always just give them that grace and give them that forgiveness. So, and then sometimes it does run out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It can run out.
Come on, Nzinga, we love you, girl. Dr. Crawford got to say
I love
she
y'all
want to
too.
talk to you now.
You know, Dr. Crawford is feeling that, and I know that Zoe is likely not.
What? What?
Because I agree with her in that, yeah, what's often, I always say what's often seen becomes invisible. But I think if you get it, you take advantage of it. It's like we wake up every day and the water is running.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't realize how much of a privilege toothpaste and water is until you go to parts of Africa where there is none.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened to me. I was taking running water for granted.
Right.
So I think if you're dispensing grace so, I don't want to say freely because you should, but I think there are people who can take grace for granted.
So how much would you charge for your grace?
I see how you do.
I'm just saying.
Nzinga, what is the cost of grace?
Yes.
That's the question. But I do feel like sin is sin. I think we can justify why we sin, but I don't think it changes the definition of sin, right?
Right, because you could say, yes, that person had to do whatever he had to do to take care of his family, but if he broke the law, he missed the mark. He could have went another route. It may have taken longer to pay him out. He didn't necessarily have to choose that, or she didn't necessarily have to choose that route. And really, you put your family in harm's way based on the risk involved in the quick payout of whatever it is you were doing when you were hustling, right?
But there are
But that's the
instances.
forest of the trees.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But that's what I'm saying. To see it from a bi-directional lens, it's not either or, it's both.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I do think that there are instances, to Nzinga's point, where you may feel justified in doing this. This is what I need to do in order for my family to eat tonight.
Right,
But it still doesn't change the fact.
right. Especially if you harm someone else in the act of feeding your family.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But Zinga, what is the cost of grace? How much do you charge?
Normally nothing. The expectation is that change behavior, but that's not always the case.
Well, the dollar's about to crash. You better start charging gold ingots.
That's your own personal currency.
Okay. Well, that's all I have. I don't have another caller. Thank you, Dr. Sunshine.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful.
We love you, Nzinga. Thank you.
Good night.
Nzinga. She brought Pensacola, Florida in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, can you? Is there enough time? I don't think so. JW, last caller of the night, South Central LA. Let's get it.
Hey, my brother, I always say I'm blessed and highly favored in spite of myself. And that's what taught me grace. Now, in reference to that, my ex-wife, I realized you can't change nobody, so you have to accept people as they are, and you have to make sure they who you want them to be. And Zoe, I comprehend you got to become the person that you want to get. So I get that. But in reference to what I stated, it's a process that I had to go through with time to come to that conclusion. And I realized that I'm not perfect because of the fact that no human being can be perfect other than Jesus Christ. And we're striving for perfection. And this is why I can extend grace to anybody else, because I know that I am imperfect.
Yeah, I think you just summed it up right there. Yeah,
That part right there.
that part right there.
I love JW, that part right there. J-Dub, we appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much, man. This was deep.
I think so.
This was deep.
The voice of reason is always challenging.
It has to be.
It's always challenging.
It has to be if we're going to feed ourselves with the conversations we have.
Keyword enlightening.
Oh.
Which is a wonderful ingredient. Sometimes it's salty, sometimes it's sweet, and tonight it was spicy.
Listen, I love having the women of KBLA Talk 1580 on my show. Today it was you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, who's coming up?
On Thursday, it's going to be Dr. Jashana Johnson.
Come through, Jashana Johnson.
And I love just opening up this platform to have these kinds of conversations because people think therapy and psychology and psychiatry and all this stuff is real, so technical and so clinical, and they're afraid to expose themselves. But there are some sisters out there with some spiritual heft that commingle this and really open up in ways that just normal clinicians can't do.
Yeah. Psychology and therapy is actually practical.
No doubt.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
I love it. Real quick, here are some flaws. 20 common flaws in relationship insecurity. Committing too quickly. Taking too long to commit to a relationship. Bad communication skills. Secrecy. Jealousy. Being an attention hog. An unhealthy picture of codependence. Getting bored with the relationship easily. Excessive stimulant use, like drinking or smoking or vaping, or it's all kinds of things. Indulging oneself in too many vices. It's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to read them all. However, we started the conversation. It's your job to finish it. My brother Danny Morrison is up next. He's going to keep the fire lit. The voice of reason did its thing. Now you do yours.
Oh, we going out like that. Man, this is the most challenging show ever.
Why?
Jashana better get ready. Well, she's been on the show. She know.
She know.
She know.
Why is it so challenging?
Let the club tipsy say no more.
Great show tonight. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Love. Thanks for the support. I'll see y'all tomorrow with another barn burner.